Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover on the Swift Escape 664, which is a 2017 model. So we'll start with walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. First point you get to is your fresh water intake, should I say. So your cap goes on here and is lockable by the key. Take the cap off, get a hose pipe with some hose ends, carry it on board, put that in there, fill until it either overflows until you're happy you've got enough water on board. You can see on the control panel, and you can also open the tank which is underneath the travelling seats at the back to see how much water is in, as well as a visual, as well as a reading on the control panel. But if you can't get water to the vehicle, i.e. in a hose pipe, and you want to bring it in a bucket, underneath here there is a, once you get the cap off, there is a 12 volt pump which clips into here, which is a wheel submersible pump, clips into there, put the hose end in there, powers it, drops the pump in, and it'll suck the water into the main tank. Just underneath you've got your fresh water drain off. So you do this from inside. There's a button above the habitation door called fresh that you press, and this will start the water coming out. So it's an electric dump, but should you want to manually dump the water, you just pull and turn, and you can open it manually that way. As you can see there, it's starting to squirt some water out, so you can manually open and close the drain. Get your fridge vents, and then behind at the back you've got the same but for wastewater, so any water you put down a plug hole. So again, you'd want to drain that off in the winter, but again you can there's a fail safe on that. Should the electric pump stop working, you can open it and the water will start squirting out. Thetford toilet, so all your lockers outside open with this key here. And what you need to do is make sure the blade is closed first. You'll be able to lift and slide it out. Got some wheels there so you can drag it around the site when full. But they're empty. What you need to do is remove the grey cap, go to the waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block, press the button and tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, if you put some water in via the spout and give it a rinse out and tip out again, and if you're using the liquid form of chemical, the cap full, straight into here, it's good to go back in the vehicle. If you're using the tablet form, which is a new form, put a pint of water in via here and drop one into the cassette. Come around the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light, your full bike rack, which you just pull down, put your wheels onto the chocks, put the straps over your wheels through your spokes, and these clip on to your crossbars. So you've got two bike racks there. Parking sensors along the back, then you've got your Alco tow bar with your 13-pin electrics. Come on to the passenger side of the vehicle, you've got your locker underneath your bed. Obviously there's all your carpets and your on and winding handle. And again, these lock with this key, round-headed key to lock that. Vent for your Truma boiler. LPG, liquid petroleum gas, this is where your gas bottles live. So in here you can fit 2 bottles, 6 kilogram propanes. To connect the bottle to the pigtail, left hand thread, hand tighten, turn on and off at the top of the bottle. You may want to press this green button for a couple of seconds because there's a crash valve in there when you turn the gas on. And then before you attach the pigtail, if you put this around the bottle and tie it down, just to tie the bottle in. This is just our test bottle, so it'll be coming off before the vehicle goes out. You can open and unlock the door with the round-headed key as well. And then you've got your mains connectivity point. So to connect, hook up, lift the collar, slide on and connect. Pick the vehicle up first, then the power source, and obviously do it in reverse when unhooking. And on the passenger door, you do have your diesel filler, which opens with the main ignition key. Just inside the door you've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar, 79.5 psi all round, just here. Toolkit underneath passenger seat. And underneath the floor here is where your main engine battery lives. But your bonnet release is just on the side of the dashboard there. So if we have a quick spy underneath the bonnet. You've got all your liquids this side, so you've got your screen wash. This lifts off and you've got power steering fluid and radiator coolant, brake fluid, oil, an oil dipstick, paint code which is 249, and then should you need to jump start the vehicle, you put your earth onto here, lift this up and put your positive onto there. That's for giving or receiving a jump start. So once inside the vehicle, you've got your main 12 volt control panel. Obviously if you're not hooked up, everything works on 12 volt. If you are, everything works on 240 volt as you've got mains power. So you can turn on and off from here. And then down this side you've got your pump at the bottom. So if you're using any taps, toilet, shower, you've got to make sure your pump's on for your water to pressurise. You've got your lights, dimmer lights, and then your awning light at the top. So awning light, dimmer light and your main interior lights. And then on this side you can scroll through so you can see that we have 13.4 volts in your leisure battery. Your vehicle is charging. Your solar panel is bringing in 0. Your tank heaters are off, but if you want them on you just press here. So if it's going to freeze overnight you just put your tank heaters on. And you've got your system settings there. You've got your water levels on both sides. And then on here you've got your fresh water drop and your wastewater drop. So these are electric dumps. So you drive over a grid and drop these on the site. Then on this side you've got your Truma digital control panel. So you press and hold the button in the middle, the wheel, to turn on and off. And then you get this screen and you press to go in. So you've got the motorhome with the thermometer in. This is how hot you want your motorhome inside the vehicle. So you've got 30 degrees all the way down to off. So for this we'll say 30 and you would press enter. And then moving further along you've got your water. So you've got off if you've got no water in the tank, you've got eco at 40 degrees and you've got hot at 60, and you've got boost which will turn off the heating and prioritise the water. So for this we'll just say hot. Moving further along you've got your energy source. So you've got gas on its own if you're wild camping and weren't hooked up. Got a mixture of 1 kilowatt of electric and gas, mixture of 2 kilowatts and electric and gas. So you've got both sources there. This is good for in the winter if you're in desperate need of water or heating. And then you've got electric on 1 kilowatt and electric on 2. You'd use electric on 2 on most sites, but if you are tripping the vehicle you may want to turn it down, or if you're on a smaller CL site you may have to use electric on 1. So for this we'll just say mix 2. Moving further along you've got your fan speeds. So you've got eco or high. So eco you'd use if you're wild camping, preserves the 12 volt battery a little bit, and high if you are on site. In the bottom left hand corner you've got a timer so you can time the heat to come on and off once. You've got a clock which is displayed on the main display panel, and should you get a worn triangle in the middle you can go to settings, you go to reset, preset, and then click on this and it will reset, and you'll have to go in and set the temperature, the water and the source again. So now in the kitchen area you've got 3 gas rings on the hob which light like so. Allow these to cool once you've turned them off before you do shut the glass down. And then below you've got your oven, and above you've got your grill. Storage drawers underneath the oven and a compartment in there with a little bit of storage. To the side here you've got your draining board and your gas isolation taps, which are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced, and a small cutlery drawer. Your main one is here. To operate your Dometic styled fridge, so you turn on and off here. You've got 3 sources, so you've got mains 240 volt power when hooked up, gas which self-ignites, obviously the bottle needs to be open and you've got to have gas, you'd use this for wild camping, and the battery is only when the vehicle is running. So what it does is you chill on gas or electric before, and then obviously you put on a battery when travelling. As soon as the engine's started, it'll send a feed from the alternator here and turns it into a cool box and keeps the temperature the same when it was when departing. Temperature here, so obviously you can change the temperature. Obviously in the summer you'll want it on high, in the winter you may want it on a little bit lower, so sometimes stuff can freeze. And then when you finish with it, before packing it away for the winter, you'll want to clean it out. The last thing you want to do is leave the door closed, because all that fresh air gets trapped and becomes mould and moisty. So if you push and slide out these 2 lugs, it then stops the door from shutting and you can get your hand around the seal. In your wardrobe opposite your kitchen, you've got your hanging rail and you've got your TV aerial. So when you're travelling, you always want to make sure that the pole is pulled securely into the vehicle and tightened. But if you can't get a signal on a site, what you can do is loosen it, push the pole up and use the little toggle to direct the aerial. But a tip is, look where all the other motorhomes and caravans are pointing, and you can min and max the signal on the booster at the back there. But when travelling, pull it in, tighten it up, it stops the wind from getting and ripping the aerial off the roof. You've got your infill cushions here and your silver screens for the side windows. So underneath your bed, you've got your storage for your table. If you are travelling, your table would go on here, rest underneath the bed. You've got your awning, winding handle, and you have your carpets. This is your boiler for your motorhome, so it holds 10 litres of hot water at any one time. In the winter it's very important that you drain the boiler off. The same with your fresh and your waste, which you do by the 2 switches above the habitation door. But to do so, there's a little yellow lever which is just down here, and when it's lying down like so, it is holding water. Flick that up, the water will drop out underneath the van and you'd leave it stood up during the time you have the vehicle in storage. Flick it back down, shut all your taps within the van, fill it with cold water, put the pump on, go to the hot side, the cold side of the tap first, you'll get automatic cold water, go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises, and then your system's primed. But when you stand it up, make sure you open all the taps within the vehicle, remove your shower head from your hose and allow your hose to lie in your shower tray. This stops any build-up of water because all the tanks and pipes on this vehicle are plastic. Your microwave is mains only, it's not a 12-volt microwave, so you've got to be hooked up for this to work. So now in the large washroom area, to operate your toilet, make sure the pump's on and you'll be able to press the blue button, fill with water. Once you've filled it with water, not only does it lubricate the blade, you'll want to open it. So slide to the right, then use the toilet with the blade open, flush after use and close to the left. Closing to the left allows you to get the cassette out the outside of the vehicle when you need to, but always open it to use it, because this stops the water from seeping around the cassette, which is a common problem on all motorhomes and caravans, that you are meant to use the toilet with the blade open. So do use it with it open, don't use it as a household toilet with water in and then try, because the water will seep around and you'll be in for a messy job. So open the blade. You'll get a light on here when it's time to empty the cassette, and on the windows you've got a skylight, you've got a blackout blind and a fly screen, should I say, and then open, press the buttons in, loosen the handles off the frame, push out, and then to keep out just tighten here, unloosen, and you can bring that in. So just push, turn, push and turn. Storage, hanging rail, but this is also a good place to hang your wet coats and so on hangers, because if you put the heating on in here, it's quite a small place in the van. As much as quite a large washroom, it's the smallest place in the van, and they'll get dried lovely. Shower head, always remove that from the hose when you're winterizing, so just unscrew that. As you can see, the hose is quite looped. Lie that in the shower tray with all the mixer taps open. And then this is just to say that your water pump is working, and that is getting the temperature there. To lock your habitation door in an evening, you just push this catch in here, and then as soon as you go for the handle, it'll open, and you do have a fly screen on the frame as well. So underneath your side facing bench seat, behind the passenger seat, you have your power supply unit here, so your EC600 power supply unit. So you've got a system shutdown button to isolate the battery in the winter. You've got all your 12 volt blade fuses which are listed behind, so would carry some spares. And you've got your RCD and MCBs, so if anything trips here in the vehicle, try here before you try your main sight. And then also on the bulkhead behind the passenger seat, you'll see that you've got your weight plate, so 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you were to put a tow bar on this vehicle and tow, your train weight can't exceed 5.1. So to make your front lounge into a bed, what you need to do is lift the table 90 degrees and it'll lift off. Press this button on the leg and the leg will fold. Slide it underneath the cushion and onto the bar at the bottom, like so. That'll form the bed base there, and then all you do is slide this one out here, and then you use the cushions to arrange. What I'll do is I'll put the cushions in place and I'll come back to you. And there you have your front bed made. So use the infill cushions that are in the wardrobe here and here. This is a backrest from behind the belt, and the infill cushion goes in the middle, a small square one, just to pad the middle out where the seat frame is. Backrest off there into here, and that's how you make your front lounge bed. And then you do have a table extension which lives in the wardrobe area, so you can put the clasp on and clasp that down if you want. By pushing it up there, like so. And then that'll just slide on to the runners here. So if you've got people sitting in this seat, two in there, these seats turn round, you can sit round the dining table. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver, you have your handbrake, and then you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustment. So they do two, they do the top and the blind spot. Got your headlight adjustment and your rear fogs just here. On the end of the wiper stalk is your trip computer, which goes through the screen. The middle tells you your range, your trip distance, your average consumption, your instant consumption, your average speed, and your travelling times, all in there. Lights and indicators. Cruise control at the top, which brings on the little green light at the bottom of the speedo. Then you push up once you get to your desired speed. Should you want to increase the speed, you just push up or slow down. Put your foot on the brake, will cancel it. You can cancel it here as well, and then resume on the end. Going in the middle's off and down to the speed limiter. So push up in ones goes up in ones, push up and hold goes up in fives. 6-speed manual gearbox, so you can go into reverse. Brings on the parking sensors that are on the back. Then you've got this button, locks the cab doors on a night. Hazards and heated mirrors. USB for charging and 12 volt for charging. And USB and auxiliary down here by the cup holder for the radio, which I'll get into a second. Fans, temperature, fan speed must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work, which is this button here. Then you've got a distribution, so where you want the air to go to and whether you're bringing fresh air in or recirculating air. On the head unit here, so it's FM, AM, DAB. Press 1 to 6 to save your favourite channels. Media is obviously Bluetooth audio, USB or auxiliary. Go to phone, press connect, Add phone, you want to find Uconnect, make sure the pins match on your device, press pair. And then it'll ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved. Press allow and it'll download. So whoever rings with a saved number in your phone will come up on the head unit. Turn on and off here, you've got your volume. And then you turn off. Glove box here, and heated and cooled glove box on the top. So to black the side windows out on this vehicle in the cab, you use your silver screens which were found in the wardrobe. Put the press studs on the various parts, tuck the large bit behind the door handle, do the same on the other side, and then if you pinch to do the slide, the Remus cab lines along on the front, and there you go, you've got a blacked out cab. Obviously we just black out the skylight as well. And then to turn your seats, pull the lever out, slide round. If it got stuck on the door, bring it forward and slide it round in the rear. The driver's seat does exactly the same as the passenger.